So, as you can see, DDO's finished its merry way. Now, DDO, it turned out the latest version, I'm not going to give you any bullshit here, the version I was using does not like, at the moment, me loading that colour map up to define its materials. It didn't mind if I threw it into the diffuse, as you can see, and it's got its various reflectances and stuff, and it looks pretty nice, but it wasn't too fond of it the other way. And as you can see, we've got various options here we can do. Just change the reflectance. Marmoset is a tremendously useful little thing, isn't it? Right, so now what we can do is we can add some additional detail to this. So we've got different modules, so we can load a preset, and let's say we want to give this, let me see, perhaps some edge wear or something like that. Let's see what's going to work for us. We don't want something that's got too many, a big number beside it, because that'll take far too long, you see. But we do want something that's going to be nice. So dirt and scratches are good. Heavy acids are okay. Not so much dirty fumes, I don't think. Peeled paint metal, that could be nice. Let's try that one. And just keep it as normal and just click the D button. Okay, and hopefully this won't take too long. Again, it's not calculating it by exploding the colour map, thankfully, so that did take quite a while. We're talking, you know, about an hour since I last saw you or something. It's telling me on the other screen how it's doing. It's processed 45 of 50 details, sent up to the diffuse 90%, and there. So now we have our blemishes and dirts and things on our map, and you can see them kind of showing up as minor chipping and things like that on the thing, so that's good. We can also add some slight randomness to the blobs. That'll just recalculate it in our map. Give it a second. Tra-la-la-la-la. Nearly there, done. Okay, so as you can see, and we can also increase the amount of dust that comes into crevices and stuff like that, yeah. Okay, so if we go over to global details here and add a detail over the entire texture. So let's see. We can give ourselves some quite heavy edges if we wanted to. Some general dirt might be nice. What have we got here? Don't really want mud spatters. Let's see. Something nice here. Don't want goo. Or goop. Fated grime. That could be nice. This is some fated grime. Add a bit of randomness. Add the level up to around about there. Keep the scale the same. Well, yep, and increase the edge fatness to about 2. And let's go. This shouldn't take long either. Bake, 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 bake. You can see it all going on in the background there as it musses up our lovely texture. Didn't take long at all, did it? So now we have shininess and loveliness all in one big spacey shippy goodness. Okay, so with that kind of working out for us, what I'm going to do now is just click here, okay, and this will quick export all our maps that we've created for this as they are. So I'll just get my export options, just check all that. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a moment, doesn't take long. And then what we're going to be able to do is just nip over to the Unreal Engine in just a minute, and we'll have a nice spaceship that we can use on that. Actually, I think it's done. So over here, I'll just close the tools down. There we go, and then go back to Unreal Engine. And if I go to my props, there's my cannon there. I reloaded my scene, so I'll just make a new folder here for imported props. Okay, and then in props here I can just drag my low poly into my imported props, and then go in here and do another import, and I'm going to import the ship itself. So if I just go over to my development folder and you can see it here. Here it is, ship 1. I've also got it obviously as an OBJ, but I'm not going to use that. LOD group 0, and just import. And it's an out-of-date Filmbox version. Oh, never mind. Drag that to there. Okay, and we can see now our spaceship. Okay, just sitting there waiting for us to do stuff with it. So what we're going to do now is build some materials for it. So over here we've got all the standard stuff that came with it. Let's go over here and do a new folder. So I can call it spaceship, so I know where it is, and then I can create a new material and call it spaceship 01, just in case I have more than one spaceship, you never can tell. Okay, now down here in textures, what I'm going to do is import the textures I need. So I'll just import to game/textures, and you can see here shipbase.ddo. Okay, so we've got loads of these fellas here from where it's been chugging them out. What I need to do is go to the latest one, which I believe is this one here. Yep, there we go, and we've got a diffuse, our normal, and our specular. And you can see them all there. So just 3 should be enough. It's not like we're going to let the player climb into it at the moment. Maybe later. And just let those come in. And it's imported one of them as a normal map, so that's good. There it is there. And let me see, I want to do a quick Control S, and that will save our package. And then I'm going to open up the material again and drag these in and start doing some stuff with them. Make some nice reflections on this and things like that as well. It's going to take a few moments to save by the looks of it. Okay, so we're ready for this bit. So what I'm going to do is get my spaceship here, just double click on my material, and it'll open it up obviously in this window here. Slowly open up in this window here. Now what I'm going to do is go back to my textures, and as you know I have my spaceship ones a bit further down somewhere in here. Where are they? Spaceship textures, where are you? Here we are. There's only 3 of them. Base, base, base. So we've got specular, normal, and diffuse. So I'm going to drag that one to there, that one to there, and that one to there. Okay, and now I can just increase this, and I'm going to go over here to my prop, get my spaceship, and just click here, and that'll set my preview mesh. Bugger trying to work this one out. There we go. Coming a bit closer. And turn off the grid so I can see it better. Okay, just click save, and it'll save our unadorned shader, which isn't doing much. Right. Now over here, what I can do is just assign these the easy way that I talked about just the other day. So if I threw that into there, that into there, and that into there. And as you see, it just textures our ship fairly normally. Nothing particularly exciting, but exciting enough, if you know what I mean. I could also kind of apply this one to a second as roughness. Now remember, we get a chance to kind of work on this and work on how strong our various different textures are. Now, for the specular, I'd rather control how strong that is. So I'm just going to break my link, and over here I'm just going to put a multiply just here, and then a constant. Here we go. I just want a standard constant, not a 2-vector one. And then if I feed these into here, and then into my specular like so, we can see that here I can now control how specular this is. 5, for example, makes it very specular. See? So I'm going to take this down to about 0.75, I think. There we are, so we get some nice edges on it. And then for metallic, I'm going to take this again and just duplicate it. Okay, so Control W, duplicate stuff. Bring this back and just pop it over here. And that way I can drop this into our metallic, and you'll see that we start to get a lot more shine on our object. And then in here, as you see, if I drop that to 0.1, we'll change that to 10. 10 makes it a lot more shiny. We don't need any emissive. We could probably do with some roughness though, so just do a quick Control W to duplicate this again, and then drag that out to roughness. And as you see, that's much better. And then down here, maybe drop this down to about 0.45. Okay, so we're going to pick up some edges and stuff. And that's nice. Just click Save. And there we go. Got 33 instructions in this. It's really simple. Open up my ship and change my preview, because pretty sure I don't want it to look like that. There we go. And we look, there's its UV. Now we need to create a second UV channel, which we can lay out using UV channel 0 if we prefer. Makes it a bit easy. Oh, didn't like that. Okay, we'll just create a new one then. Let's give it a second. It'll generate some unique UVs for our second, which is all to do with shadowing, if you remember. And if we look at our UVs now, that's UV channel 0, which is nice. UV channel 1, which is all random. Weird. Okay, so that's cool. Turn off UV. And we need to assign our material. So if we go over here to our spaceship material just there, bammo, do that, save. And there we go, that's our shiny spaceship with all the light kind of sparkling off it and junk. Makes it very shiny. Okay, so that's another prop done and now out of our way. So I'll move this over here. Do a Control S for save. And then the third prop we're going to put in is another one that I've got down here in the good old 3ds Max. So I'll just do a reset. And I was quite fortunate and unfortunate at the same time in that UT Fade Out, it was a fun project, but we didn't really get far enough. So let's see, we've got Arch High Poly A. Let's open that out. There it is there, so that's our arch. And just check our pivot. Our pivot's okay. Right click, convert to editable polygon. Now with this, as you see, it's a very high detail object, but we can still use it in this. Let's just look at polygon counter. So 15 thou, that's way less than the 20 thou that we'd be worrying about usually. The only problem I have with this is that it isn't mapped. Well, we can throw an automatic map onto this, and I'll show you just how easy it is to basically do this. So we'll go to unwrap UVW, open our UV editor, and as you can see, it's a mess. That's okay though. Just select everything. So I'll just click there and select everything. And then we can, let me see, go to mapping and just flatten our mapping. Just click OK. It won't be pretty, not by a long shot. See what I mean? But let's see, back front mapping, top bottom box mapping. You get various different options for kind of trying to unwrap it, as you can see. You can also do an unfold. Unfold's a bit crazy. Give it a second or two. It takes a while to process it. Unfold, not the most accurate way of doing it. So I think what I'll do is I'll just get flatten mapping. I'll change my polygon angle to about 70 and just click OK, and we should get some fairly big chunks. They're not huge, but they'll do, I suppose. It's going to be messy and dirty, but I'm in a hurry. And this is a prop. Okay, now what we can do is literally just take this and ditch it straight out. All we need to do really is bake the most simple of maps for it. We don't even really need to bake a map at all. We could just have it plain and metallic. And in actual fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, File, Export. Just to show you that you can do this. Export selected. And in here, we'll call this curve detail, and we'll put it in film box format. If it lets us, you never know. There we go. So this is a curve detail. And now if I go over here to the Unreal Editor, and here's our imported props. So let's just import again. And this time if I go down here, you can see our curved detail. It's quite a big piece. I've said that before though. And it's yet again out of date film box, never mind. Also, the pivot tends to be a little bit out of whack with this one, I've noticed. Oh, there it goes. Found it. Right, where's it gone? There. See what I mean? Pivot completely out. God knows why. So, bring that down. And let me see. Now the reason that this pivot's out of whack, actually, now I come to think of it, is because of the pivot point in the world. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to delete this from my thing over here. Just go into max, and if I just set up my move tools here, you can see that it's actually in the arse end of nowhere. So let's move it to 0, 0, 0. Zoom. And our pivot point now is at 0, 0, 0. So now if I export it, ship curve detail, yes, okay. Back into UDK, and I'm going to import my new curve detail. Wait patiently while it does it. Clear that. And I should now be able to, there, just drag it straight down where I need it. Which is excellent, because now we can make ourselves a nice docking ring, which is what we wanted. Okay, now, the problem with these three things is that we don't actually have any bounding boxes, and this still doesn't have a material, so we will need to assign one. But I'm just going to assign something really basic and primitive to it. Now for this, if I just double click on it, you can see that we have no collision. So again, as before, I can just put on a simplified collision there and save it. Same goes with our ship. If I can just reset my camera, there we go. And again, you'll see no collision, so we can set a simplified collision there. And then in this one, again, just reset my camera so I can see it. And collision to 26 dop. See, like that. And save. Actually, collision. Show that. It'd be nice to be able to go underneath it. So let's see if we can change that a little bit. That's a sphere. Let's see. There. That's much better, because now it means we'll be able to go underneath the darned thing. Click save. Undo that. Okay, now, final thing I suppose is if I go over to my materials here, you're going to see all sorts of different things. We've got burnished steel, metal copper, brushed nickel, stuff like that. I can literally just click here. I'll have that one, I think. So let's go to our import props, materials, and it's a nice detailed piece actually, because it's a good example that you can bring stuff into here. Now bear in mind I didn't bother applying smooth to it, it was just a very fast thing. So here's our brushed nickel, just if you want to see what that looks like. That goes as element 1. And then for element 2, let's have some gold. There you go, you see? Because of course they had separate material IDs. Yay! Much hearts. Actually, what else might work there? Well, not that. And I very much doubt this tech panel will fit. Though it does look nice. See what steel looks like on it. I think a gold or chrome possibly. Copper. So many choices. I think copper works quite well, and then for this base metal up here, I've already got brushed nickel. Could have burnished steel, I suppose, if I want it really shiny. Like that, see? Gives it a bit of a bruisey kind of look, but I like it. So we shall stick with that and click save. Okay, so we've done some more stuff. In the next part, we're basically going to put it all together and make ourselves a small scene that we can wander about in with our spaceship and all that kind of funky stuff. So until then, TTFN.